Hey guys, welcome in. I wanted to get on here and do a video of does number 12 have anything left in the tank? And let me tell you what, I think he does. Jeff and Greg got on here and talked in the podcast on Saturday. I wasn't able to make it on. I heard them talk about this discussion about does Aaron Rodgers have anything left? And I'm going to have to disagree with them because they both said no. They both said that um, he's got nothing left. And I'm going to have to argue that point because I think he does. And you begin to wonder where he belongs because the Jets don't want him no more. The Jets came out and they go out and get Aaron Glenn and who defensive coach for the Jets, which was not for the Jets, defensive coach for the Lions. They go out and bring him in, the head coach of the Jets. He used to play defense for the Jets. And they hire him. And I think it's a good, solid hire to bring somebody back they know and they're comfortable with and see if he can turn this sort of thing around. But I think a lot of those stipulations were to give Aaron Glenn his control and say, hey, Rodgers, we'll take you back, but you can't do the Pat McAfee show. You will be at spring, you will be at training camp. You will be at this. You're not going to do that. And Aaron Rodgers was like, I'm not signing up for that because, when you get to a certain level, like Aaron Rodgers has, there are things that you don't think you need to do. Whether that may be right or wrong, I'm not here to argue that, but there's those things. But let's look into it, man, because Rodgers last season, all right, 2023 with the Packers, he threw 36-95, 26 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Not great, not bad though, right? Not bad. For Aaron Rodgers, though, it was not the Aaron Rodgers we're used to seeing. So look into the 2023. He snaps his Achilles. We all remember that. Well, last season he threw for 38-97, almost 4,000 yards. He threw 20 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Well, that's not bad compared to the laughing stock the Jets have been and everything else that we thought. That's not bad. The Jets is a culture issue, in my opinion. You have an ownership, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And where we heard the stories this last season, where the owner let his sons, who were teenagers, have say in the team. Talking about Madden ratings, and that's why they're not drafting players. Talking about how the game ball was going to go to someone, but their sons came in and gave the game ball to someone else. Absolute joke of a ran organization, and the culture there. No one knows how to win in that culture because they have a poisonous owner, and until they get rid of that poisonous culture, I don't think they're going to turn it around. No one's been turning around there. Okay, nobody. Doesn't matter if it's Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't matter anybody. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers blows his Achilles. The offensive line is terrible. He blows his Achilles. Did he look great last year? No, he did not look great. He had a lot of drama, right? There's a lot of drama that comes with Aaron Rodgers. But you look at those numbers and the way he turned it on at the last of the season when he began to be more healthy because he was battling other things. He tore his Achilles in 23. I think with his age, it's going to take a little bit longer for that thing to heal properly. He played with through some injuries last year, and he almost threw 4,000 yards with 28 touchdowns. It's not bad. And the team I would like to see him go to, although it would be funny to see him to go to Minnesota and become the Brett Favre prodigy, and that's what Brett Favre did and face us twice a year, although that would be fun. I think he needs to go to the Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers need to take a chance on him because we know Russell Wilson ain't going to get the job done. And we all know Justin Fields is trash. You can hope and want all you want. There's a lot of Bear fans that hoped and wanted that Justin Fields is good, and he's absolutely not. But you look at Russell Wilson. Okay, Russell Wilson, when he played for the Broncos, he had 23 at 3,070 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Decent. Last year, the Steelers, now I know he was injured. He missed the first 3 or 4 games. He threw for 2,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And what we know with Russell Wilson is you're not going to get the job done with him. He's not a good quarterback. Even with the 4 games he missed, I don't think he's beating Aaron Rodgers' numbers. I don't think he is. Even if he threw 2 touchdowns in those games, he still doesn't equal the amount of touchdowns that Aaron Rodgers threw last season. Okay? His numbers are better. And that was Aaron Rodgers, one of his worst seasons he's ever had. And that's still better than what the Steelers had as a quarterback last season. They got a good defense. They got a good head coach. They've got a good culture. I think if Rodgers goes to a team, now he's got to have a lot around him. He's not going to be able to come in and start fresh, obviously. But he's got to go to a team that has a lot around him. The Steelers got a lot around him. A defense. They got offensive weapons. They got a good head coach that knows how to coach players. Now, that being said, the biggest question there is, will Tomlin put up with him? I don't know. Will the ownership, the organization put up with him? Because Aaron Rodgers is going to come with a lot of drama. And that's what I don't know. I don't know if Tomlin was willing to put up with him. And you get a lot of talk about Tomlin on the hot seat, and then are the Steelers going to fire him because, he hasn't done a whole lot since Ben Roethlisberger days, and he hasn't won a playoff game in the last 10 years, and all these rumors. Well, is he going to be willing to tie his wagon? Maybe it could be his last season as Pittsburgh to the Aaron Rodgers train with a lot of drama involved. If he signs off on taking Aaron Rodgers and it doesn't pan out, then he's more likely out of the organization altogether. I don't know if you tie yourself to an aging Aaron Rodgers, but I will tell you, winning with Russell Wilson isn't going to, you're not going to win with him. You're not going to make it to the Super Bowl, play playoff. You're not going to win a playoff game, I don't think, with Russell Wilson as your quarterback. And they definitely overachieved this last year because of Mike Tomlin. You get a veteran guy in there, Aaron Rodgers. And I think to really work, Aaron Rodgers would have to buy in and show up to the training camp. And I think he does, whoever he goes to this next season, because it was such a bad look with the Jets when he didn't go to the offseason mandated practices, right? But I think he shows up, and I think it's going to take a lot of buy-in from him. But I think Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, this defense, I think the Steelers could be a scary team, and they played better this last season. I had to give them props because I thought this could be the first losing season of Mike Tomlin's career, but they did better than I thought they were. Than they thought they did. Now they did collapse at the end of the season, lost the division when they should have won it, and that's Russell Wilson's not going to. He's not necessarily going to kill you in games, but he's not going to go out there and win you a game. He's not going to it's not going to be on his shoulders. Where I believe Aaron Rodgers could still do that with a team that is around him. So those are things to look at. I don't think anybody's turning the Jets around. Sorry, Aaron Glenn. I don't think you're turning the Jets around. I don't think the next quarterback that gets turning the Jets around. It is a losing, poisonous culture, and will be until that owner is gone. And that owner can kill a franchise faster than anything. Look at Dan Snyder and the Washington Commanders. It took 1 year for them, when he was gone, to hire some competent people and turn that team around. And until you get rid of that poisonous culture of losing, you're not going to win. Sorry, Jets fans. Jets, Jets. It's just the truth. I think Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers makes sense. I like it. I think he's got a little bit left in the tank. You may not like him. You may not like his diviness or whatever you want to call it. Brett Favre was kind of the same way at the end. But I think Aaron Rodgers to the Pittsburgh Steelers makes a lot of sense. And I think they would win more games this next year if they did so than Russell Wilson. People might be able to believe in him a little bit more. What are your thoughts? Let me know if I'm absolutely crazy or not. God bless, and remember, happiness, it's a mindset.